Daniel, do you feel the process that you were eliminated from, do you feel that was fair?
Absolutely. I never make excuses, ever. And if the pros think that I'm one of the worst guys on the show and they think I should be eliminated, then eliminate me. I'll find a way to make it somehow.
I gotta ask, do you regret leaving the independent scene where you were a big fish in a small pond to ultimately drown in the sea that is the WWE?
Well, that's funny because Daniel Bryan never wrestled on the independent scene. I don't know, if you go on YouTube, Daniel Bryan, all you ever see is Daniel Bryan in the WWE. But there was this guy, man, he was out there, he was kicking people's heads in. People called him the best wrestler in the world, the best technical wrestler in the world. He was a champion in Japan and Mexico and Europe. And do you know what his name was? It was, you might know this guy.
What's next for this guy?
For Daniel Bryan, I don't know, man. That might be the end of him. I mean, he's eliminated from NXT. I mean, he can't even beat rookies. What's wrong with this guy? He can take Batista to the limit, but he can't beat rookies. Daniel Bryan might be done, but Bryan Danielson, God knows what's going to happen to him.
Bri, best of luck in your future endeavors. I know you're going to be just fine.
Attack skills and vocabulary too. Comprehension of this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Everybody, we are back at it again. We've been gone for over a week. Ringtime Pro Wrestling is back with your wrestling fix. Keith and Keisha in the building. Keisha, say hi to the people.
What up, though? Hey! Can you tell I'm excited? A little bit? Not too much? Is it too much? Nah, it ain't too much. I'm good. What up? Hey, everybody! Hey! Okay, I'm done.
This show gonna be a little different. We've been out 2 weeks, and apparently a lot of stuff is with order wrestling. So
who has it?
We're gonna go news and notes. And pretty much, I will throw out some topics. We're going to break down that topic. Each topic probably going to take a little while because I got a lot to say about a lot of things that's happening in wrestling. And then we'll finish it up with a recap of Raw and my ideas of what's going on all the way to Fastlane and how we'll proceed in WrestleMania. So, without further ado, let's get into that. Also, check out RetireProWrestling.com. It's being updated a little more, a little often, and we're going to have some more stuff up there for you. Like I said, we went radio silent for a little while, and that was because we had some family issues to take care of. We are back 100%. I like to think,
that's right.
At least. And some of the stuff I'll talk about later because there was an incident that happened that kind of touched me and it kind of brought me back to a different place. But let's go into this week, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna pop this thing off with the biggest thing that's happened, right?
Right.
It's official. Daniel Bryan is retired from in-ring work. I think we reported, we've talked about it on the show before. I told you he probably wasn't ever coming back. Doctors wouldn't clear him, and I think we went through the final battery of tests this week, and I think they basically had to put it hard to him. Like, look, man, it is not so much the neck injuries as much as the concussions, and the concussions have mounted up so heavy.
Right.
And they said, basically, look, you cannot get another one. And that's pretty much where he's at with it. So they've taken him off. And I mean, you got to understand, it's a very sensitive time. If you remember, a lot of people thought Benoit, his issues were related to concussions as we research CTE and that kind of thing. And now, fast forward to things that are going on in the NFL, the WWE probably just couldn't take that chance. And honestly, I think they put it to Bryan close enough where he doesn't want to take that chance again, because there was a lot of speculation that he was going to go to the Indies.
Yeah.
He couldn't get cleared. Which, the thing is, Daniel Bryan on the indie circuit would be the biggest draw to the Indies has ever seen, right?
Right.
I mean, promoters would have paid buttloads of money to try to match. Because the thing is, you can't beat that name recognition. You know what I mean? He would have came back as Bryan Danielson, because WWE owns Daniel Bryan.
Of course.
He would have American Dragon would have been on a roll. New Japan would have played through the roof, right? So all that would have happened. Ring of Honor would have gave him a bunch of money for one show or spot shows. But what would have happened? Because he would have wrestled that same style, he would have taken the same risk. He might even went above and beyond, because those organizations are a lot more fast-paced and they don't slow it down that much. I think, we would have been in a problem. I think it was very plain to him that it was dangerous to go back. I wrote a little something on the website, but putting Bryan's career in retrospective, isn't hard, really. I think he is the most dynamic superstar of the last 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta remember, he is organically built. He's not the product of a major push. If anything, he was pushed back. Right. This is a guy who, I would say 4 years ago, lost at WrestleMania in 18 seconds. There's no bigger job than that, right?
Right.
He lost in 18 seconds. But from there, he actually built the movement that took his career to the next stratosphere. The WWE didn't know what the yes movement was going to be, because it started from the no chance.
Right.
And then he twisted to the yes. Hey, they didn't know that was going to be the next thing, right?
Right.
And it took off like wildfire. It went mainstream. If you remember Michigan State, the football team and the basketball team used it. Another few other college teams took it on. I think Daniel Bryan united the audience. And I wrote this in an article. John Cena is the most polarizing character in wrestling in the last 10 to 15 years, which is very easy, the most polarized character. You either love him or hate him. You're either one side or the other for the most part.
Exactly.
And a lot of it has to do with age and your skepticism or whatever. So if you're 10, you're good with Cena, right? But if you're 22, you're probably tired of it. All right, cool. Bryan merged all those audiences. Every faction that exists in the WWE universe loved Daniel Bryan. Was there a matter of time before the cynical indie nerd turned on him? Probably so. But for the moments that he had, they were always there for him, right?
Right.
There wasn't too many sections of the fan base that had something bad to say about Daniel Bryan. Now, there were some haters, don't get me wrong, being in this internet and this podcast thing. And I'm going to tell you the funny thing, a lot of haters were former wrestlers. People who maybe were not, and I'm going to tell you who a lot of them were. They were the guys who wasn't that big, but they wasn't that small. They were a little bit of a tweener, Disco Inferno, and maybe had something bad to say about, but it didn't matter. Like I said, the guy was not a product of a push. You got to remember, prior to WrestleMania 30, they didn't have plans for him in the main event. They didn't even book him in the Royal Rumble match. If you remember that Royal Rumble, he loses to Bray Wyatt early on in the show, which we thought, okay, great. Bray gets that win in a one-on-one match clean. Perfect. Great story there.
Yeah.
Bryan is going to come back for the Royal Rumble. Bryan does not even enter the match. Okay? And in the match, the finals are Batista and Roman Reigns. Which, hey, last time Roman Reigns got cheered is that match. So, Roman Reigns gets cheered because he's the last man with Batista. But Batista wins, throws Roman out. That's Roman's calling card Royal Rumble. That's Roman's 12 elimination Royal Rumble. Right? Put a pin in that because that becomes significant later. Daniel Bryan doesn't enter that match. Okay, they had a plan on having him rematching Sheamus, which that was a bad idea. You gotta remember, this is the same time where CM Punk leaves the company. CM Punk gets fed up. CM Punk is not in the main event. Because he had the original match with Triple H. Plans changed. Things got scrapped.
Right.
And Punk is no longer there. And they had to make some changes. And that when they realized, hey, this Daniel Bryan thing is catching on. And hey, if we don't do something with this guy, these people are going to riot. Like, it's going to be legit. They're going to riot. Do they use him in the world title picture with Randy Orton? While Cena was out for surgery, then when Cena came back, they kind of moved Daniel Bryan out and they kind of put him with Kane, and then they did the Wyatt thing, and then they, you know what I mean? But the Wyatt thing still caught on. He was still hot with the Wyatts, despite them trying to basically bury him and the Wyatts. You know what I mean? The guy kept his momentum. Like, I think some of the things we complain about with Dolph Ziggler, the fans would not let happen to Daniel Bryan.
No, not at all.
Like, to the point of, look, if, let's say he came back Monday and said he's healthy, he's ready to go, right? You would have to work him into the WrestleMania main event, because the fans would not accept him. Maybe not in the main event. Maybe you give him an Undertaker match. Like, you have to give him a major spot on the card. Like, the concession at WrestleMania 31 was that he was going to be in an IC title match.
All right.
And he won it in the ladder match. And that was like, okay, he's an IC champ. He won the ladder match. He's a champion again. And he can revive the belt. Blah, blah, blah. People were content. Like, that's what you have to give him. Like, he was so, I don't even know the word. Like, he was so captivating.
Yeah.
Like, people just loved him. Like, I've never seen, like, the love catch on for a guy in this era. Because this era is largely made up of cynical fans. We are dirt sheet junkies. We read all the websites. We go to, come on, this is a podcast about wrestling. We got a pretty working knowledge of behind the scenes. And I'm not saying good working knowledge. I'm just saying we know more about what's going on backstage than probably any generation prior to us, right?
Right.
And the writers and the creative staff, the wrestlers, they don't help because they leak out a lot of the info. So, a lot of people feel more inside than they ever did before. We still bought him as our hero. Fair to say? Like, I think his underdog story works. Not all underdog stories work.
Right.
Believe you me.
They don't.
Right? He had it all. He had the flying. He'd go all over the ring with you. He's probably as technically sound as any wrestler in the world. Flipped it over. He could slug it out with guys that were bigger than him. He made it believable no matter where he was or who he was with. That's why a match between him and Brock would have been amazing. Because clearly
awesome.
you have a babyface underdog. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Daniel is skilled enough where he makes you believe that there's a legit chance somehow that he pulls this off. It won't be easy, but you know what I mean? He could get this slugfest going, and he could take some punishment that would lead him to the promised land. But yeah, that's easily the biggest story, right? Because now we have closure, and he has closure. Now, what does his future role look like? I don't know. Maybe he works at NXT, get these guys coming. A lot of part of NXT is Daniel Bryan. The success of him, I think, is the reason why they looked at a guy like Finn Balor, a guy like Neville, a guy like Sami Zayn, and say, you know what, this guy got a chance. Because you got to understand, those guys came out of that same ROH pipeline, right?
Right.
Even watching the AJ Styles now, you know what I mean? Like, none of these guys are monsterly huge. Like I said, they all come out of a certain pipeline, wrestled around the world, worked in ROH, that kind of thing, and now they're here. You know what I mean? I give a lot of credit to CM Punk. Also, he was a part of that revolution. 2 years ago, I wrote an article about the WWE was due a style change, and we're here now, right? Because those talents eventually all going to end up on the main roster. We're at style change. But Bryan had a lot to do with usher in that. And he had a lot to do with them saying, like, yeah, we can probably look at these guys and try to figure it out. Because we're removed again, probably the second biggest removal from that steroid era that we were a part of years ago. Right? So
Exactly.
That's pretty much what I'm going to say on that topic, because that's probably the biggest elephant in the room.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Give me your thoughts on Daniel Bryan, the legacy, the man. I mean, because clearly, let's be understanding this too. Hall of Famer. And
Of
you
course.
can tell me about time and short. Okay, first of all, it's a 16-year career. Now, probably 7 of it is last 7 is the WWE. If I guess, maybe 7, maybe 6, right?
Right.
It was the WWE time. 3-time world champion, United States champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, Grand Slam champion, right?
And all well deserved.
Money in the Bank winner. It's there, right?
Right.
All the stats are there. Inspirational leader. I think he has a lot more to contribute to the sport and to the company.
And I believe he will.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to accept a role there just because his wife still works there. He's trying to figure it out. And he really don't have anything else to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, and I think the boredom is going to get to him. Not worried about money. Daniel Bryan was making top guy money probably the last 2 or 3 years of his career. Especially that run, you know, from like 2013 into 2014 going up to WrestleMania 30.
Right.
Now, if you watch Total Divas, you understand that guy don't spend no money.
No, he doesn't.
I'm not worried about him. Like, him and Bree just had to convince, like they got a house because he was going to have his parents' house. I think he still got that. But they just bought a regular house. You know what I mean? He's the same dude who don't really own a television. He bought a compost toilet.
Yeah.
So they could compost their poop.
Yeah.
So that's how he rolls. Environmental guy all the way. Try to reduce green emissions. He's that guy.
He married the white one because Bree rolled right along with it. Be right there by his side with it.
Okay. You know what it's like to grow up with twins, right? Because our dad's a twin, for people who don't know.
Which is the most hilarious shit ever. Sorry. I had to throw that in there.
Those two twins that we know ain't vastly different. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a lot of twins are, you know, because I've always been around twins, right? Nikki and Brie. Nikki is what I thought Nikki was. Like, that Bella image is pretty much a Nikki. Like, she rolls, right?
Right.
She found the right one. She got the richest guy on the roster. She found the right one. And, yo, she loves that lifestyle. She be like, yo, this is how it's supposed to be. All right.
Right.
Brie, I didn't know Brie was like that. I just assumed she was similar to Nikki. I didn't know Brie was a hippie. I didn't know Brie was free to be you and me, and we out here with the flowers. And we not trying to buy no Chanel or no Gucci. You know what I mean? Like, Nikki about that Tom Ford. You know what I mean? Like, she's trying to get that new bag. She trying to get them new $400 heels. Brie, like, look, I will get with my man. We're going to go hiking. It's different.
She's like, are we going to go see the mountains tomorrow?
Yeah, they roll different. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. I think it's funny just to see two twins and how diametrically different they can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are two people who take the same DNA and roll.
It's definitely a difference. You
Like
know
Nikki-
the difference.
Nikki done got tan. She got muscular. She done bought some boobs. Bree is like, I'm just gonna roll with BB. So
right.
I just think it's funny, right? But flipping it all over, man. Yeah, give me your thoughts on Bryan, the legacy, and
Oh man. Where do I begin? Daniel Bryan evolved into being one of my favorite wrestlers. I actually always, with wrestlers like him, I always have to go back and look at like his past matches, you know, from when he started, or like, you know, before WWE and everything, because I knew about Bryan Danielson, but it was just so crazy watching him go from there to, you know, the WWE ring. Incredible wrestler. Like, his talent is beyond measure. Like, you can't even, it's hard to really describe something that's that good. Like, he just, every time he got in the ring, he gave it his 110%. Like, it was definitely a breath of fresh air to see somebody like Daniel Bryan out there, you know, working his way all the way up. Like, and it didn't take long for him. And that was, to me, another incredible thing about his career, is that it never really, it took time, but to me, in my own personal opinion, it didn't take that much time. And it wasn't something that was rushed, and it didn't seem like, you know, oh, he ain't ready for it. Like, there was never a time when I was like, nah, he ain't ready for it. I mean, I think everything was timed perfectly for him. And that was the greatest thing about it. Even when he won his world heavyweight title, like, to me, like I said, in my personal opinion, that was the perfect time for him. Of course, he had Bree by his side. He was good. It was great, you know. Him losing at WrestleMania in 18 seconds was awful, but it didn't kill his career. And that, to me, was something that also was a great staple to what Daniel Bryan is. Like, it never kept him down. He was always there. He was always out there. He was always in the spotlight. Like, when it came to him being him, he never let that waver. He's definitely Hall of Fame material. And, like, there's no denying that. You know, especially after he created the no and the yes movements. Like, that, to me, was something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't see actually happening. They didn't really see it getting over like it did, but when it happened, like, it still hasn't died. Like, it's just something that's never going to go away, you know. Daniel Bryan in himself has had, to me, like, the best time ever. I hate to see it come to an end, because it really takes me back to when Edge had to retire. Like, I swear to you, like, it really is hurtful, and I can't even, like, take away from that. It's really hurtful to see him have to leave, you know. But of course, you know, health comes first. And I'm glad that there are responsible people that won't let him continue and put himself in that kind of danger. You know, it's really a good thing, and at the same time, it's bittersweet. It's like, you don't want it to happen. And I really, in honesty, I was waiting for Daniel to come back, and, you know, for him to jump into things and just shake stuff up, and, oh my God, what's going to happen now? You know, it was like holding your breath almost. And I was holding on to it for a very long time, I have to honestly admit. But now that I know that this is the end of it. But to me, it's not the end. I wouldn't say it's the end. Let me take that back. Because we all know Daniel has a very, very great skill set. Like, his skill set is incredible. And I know that he's going to pass on his knowledge and his skills to other wrestlers, up and coming wrestlers. I'm pretty sure he's going to work with the ones over at NXT, because I have a great feeling that they have a place for him, you know, over there with the Performance Center, and I can see him being hands-on with everybody, how to work the mic, how to get out there and just put on a great performance. I know he won't be doing anything physical, but I know that he doesn't have to. Because if there's one thing that Daniel does, is he could talk extremely well. So I know that all he has to do is get over like, hey, do this, and he's good. Be by his side, you know. He don't have anything to worry about. Nothing. He doesn't have anything to worry about. I'm pretty sure they have a place for him wherever he wants to be with the WWE, you know, other than in the ring. He always be around. So, and you know, of course we're going to see him do guest spots, you know, and all that kind of stuff, because what WWE star, you know, that has retired that hasn't done a guest spot at least once or twice, you know? So it'll definitely always be a place. And so it's not, you know, we don't say goodbye to Daniel Bryan at all. You know, no one does, no one is, because it ain't. You know, he's going to be around. He's going to be around, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. I am excited about it and whatnot. And him and Bree need to start having some kids, okay? Like, they really need to start going ahead and kicking them out, because I'm pretty sure they'll have some wonderful-looking babies. And it's just, I know it's that time. It's that time. Especially now, you know, more than ever. Go ahead, have at it. So, but that's my take on the whole situation. I just wish I could have been there to see it in person, you know, because I'm pretty sure it was an incredible sight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was awesome. And we'll get back on that. In other news, Titus O'Neal got suspended today, Keish.
Yeah! What is that all about?
90 days. 90 days.
What?
People who did crack ain't get 90 days.
That's what I'm saying. 90 days? Like, I didn't know it was that long. Okay. I knew he was suspended. I didn't know it was 90 days. 90 days? What the hell? What happened?
Yeah. Apparently, he grabbed Vince after the Daniel Bryan thing, and he rolled up on him and grabbed him by the arm, and then Vince pushed him. And they said it was kind of playing jokingly. Or wasn't nobody joking today? And I'm not sure how it all went down, what the conversations were had, or who said what, or about what, or haven't really reached out to Titus, because I know it's probably rough right now. And it's just, It's crazy, right? Because I can't figure out,
crazy.
How do you treat somebody who's been an ambassador for your company, who has went out and won all these awards, Man of the Year, Father of the Year, you know what I mean?
Right.
If it's just that incident. If we're talking just this incident, maybe he should be punished. I don't know. I don't think it necessarily warrants a punishment, but maybe if Vince felt like he got too familiar at the end of the taping. I don't know. But to do this, I think is overreaching. I don't know if he's trying to set an example. He's trying to keep people in line.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when people do that. I do. I can't stand it.
So Titus is going to miss WrestleMania effectively. Not that they had big plans for him, but still, he's going to miss WrestleMania.
Still.
He's not going to be around doing like the reading challenges and all the community work. Because that's your community guy.
Right. Exactly.
That's your Joe Public guy, and you done took him out the loop. I don't get it, and I don't even get why. Like, I
don't either. Like, it really does not make sense to me. It doesn't.
Yeah, I can't figure out why.
It's the worst. I read that it had happened, and I had to honestly say, Keith, I was like, why in the hell would you suspend Titus O'Neal? Like, what has he done? Because I follow him on Instagram, okay? I follow him on Instagram. And all I ever see from Titus is community service this and community that. He's always out with his kids. He was always out doing charity work. Like, I swear, if he's not, I swear to you, the only other place I ever see him is in the ring. It's like, what the hell happened to where he got suspended? I just seriously didn't understand it. I said, out of everybody that could have gotten suspended, Titus? Seriously? What the fuck did he do for this to happen? I'm pretty sure the reason was not that serious, but I guess to them it was for them to suspend him for 90 days. Like, that's absolutely absurd. I'm sorry. Like, what the hell?
I can't really figure out what anybody is thinking. But that's where we're at with it.
Wow.
That is where we're at.
Wow. That's just awful. Like, on every level, it's just awful. But I have to say that seeing his Instagram and everything, he is trying to keep a positive head about all of this, you know?
Right.
So, but of course, I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah. What can you do, Keish? But that is that part of the news and what's going on this week in wrestling. I'm gonna go down just a few things, and this is gonna wrap up the first part of the show. Jack Mulligan was hospitalized last week. If you watch Raw, not this Monday, but the Monday before, you know it's Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas were not at the show. They had both left immediately after getting news that their grandfather, Jack Mulligan, Hall of Famer, father of Barry Windham, father-in-law of Mike Rotunda, who is Bo and Bray's father, father Kendall Windham, one half of the legendary Blackjacks. He used to be managed by Bobby Heenan. Like I said, Hall of Famer. Overall, great contributor to the business. So, putting that in perspective, they were not there. They were there this week. I haven't really heard anything about Blackjack's condition since then, so I'm assuming he's in stable condition and everything is okay.
Right.
When it happened, I was kind of taken a little bit aback because this was their grandfather, and I kind of, you know what I mean. I understand where that comes from. Be a little transparent with you all. We lost our grandmother recently, and it kind of took me to a different space. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people probably were just watching it, just not. And it's especially special to me because, they followed their grandfather's footsteps, and a lot of who I am and who I became had a lot to do with who my grandmother was, and so I know that those kind of connections, and that's why I was kind of. But I think fortunately for them, I think Blackjack is coming out on the other side of this thing and appears to be going to be okay.
Amen to that.
Also, I'm the bearer of bad news. Bret Hart announced last week that he had prostate cancer. The Hitman, I think he started undergoing treatment last week after he made the announcement. This is going to probably be the biggest fight of the Hitman's life. I think they caught it early enough where I think he's going to be okay.
Right. But,
anytime you hear cancer, man, it's kind of a hard thing to diagnose, to take in. Bret's an interesting figure in the world of wrestling. If you don't, if you're young, I think you have to Google Bret Hart to understand. Look at the accomplishments.
Right.
I'm gonna break it to you like this: Bret is the gatekeeper of the sport between like 91 and 96, right?
Right.
As the Hogan era dies out, and we're trying to figure out how to transform wrestling, and I think they were called the New Generation. The WWE was getting away from the steroid era. They were getting away from a lot of things they had to do, big monster guys, and they were trying to establish themselves as a more technically sound wrestling company, right?
Right.
Bret's their go-to guy. Bret's the man at this point. And he put the label on his back. I mean, they had Taker still. Yokozuna was a thing. But Bret, he got jobbed at WrestleMania 9, and that was like largely a Hogan thing. But Hogan totally gets removed from the picture after that. And in WrestleMania 10, I think firmly established that it's Bret's time.
Right.
WrestleMania 10, where he beats Yokozuna, he gets the belt back. He has 2 matches in the same night because he has the match with Owen Hart. And him and Owens feud takes center stage. And from that point on, it's him. And it's him till Shawn Michaels comes along. And then it's him and Shawn Michaels. And his feud with Shawn Michaels is probably the defining feud leading up to the Attitude Era, right?
Right.
And it's the one that kicks off the Attitude Era. Because when the Attitude Era kicks off, they're still in. Bret didn't like a lot of the changes and a lot of things that were going on during the Attitude Era. But he stuck it out. I think the heel Bret Hart in America, babyface in Canada, is probably the most creatively solid things I've ever seen in wrestling. I've never seen something executed that well, where somebody legitimately was the hero at one country and then the villain in the other country, and he didn't change his character.
Right. Exactly.
Said the same stuff in Canada. He'd be like, yo, America is crazy. They do. And I think what he tapped into, being a Canadian, is a large part of how Canadians feel. I think there's a large part of Canadians who think Americans are arrogant and think that American, and we can be to a certain extent, right?
Right. Right.
So he tapped into that. Bret actually too. Bret, fast forward, get some cult hero status. Do you know there's a Bret Hart Cameron album coming out somewhere?
Whoa.
Yo,
say what now?
First of all, Bret has a lot of rappers that are fans of his. And then, you know, Cameron wears the pink and all that stuff. I'm not saying Bret spitting no rhymes. I'm saying that it's going to be a mixtape featuring Bret Hart and Cameron. Go put it out. And that's a thing, right?
Wow.
Also, Bret creates another set of fans because of his swag. Bret always rocked the New Jays. So there's a lot of sneakerheads who in the Bret Hart, because they go through and they check the, you know, now you go back to the old pictures and like, oh, he got those, he had them, you know what I mean? And even now when you see him on Raw, he always got a crispy pair of, you know what I mean? He might be rocking the retro 11s or retro 9s, and you know what I mean?
Hey, he got the money for it.
So like there's a thing, right? Like he hasn't reached Ric Flair cult hero status, because like I said, there's an article to be written about Ric Flair's influence on modern hip hop.
Yeah,
that's coming, but it's prayers up for Bret. You know what I mean? I hope all that works out. ECW, told you, bear of bad news, man. This whole first segment is multiple fucking news. ECW Original Axl Rotten passed away last week at the age of 44. Axl was one of those guys that was there from 93 to 99. So he saw the transformation from Eastern Championship Wrestling to ECW, like Extreme Championship Wrestling, which is a very important note in wrestling history and how things change. I would encourage you to look up some things on Axl Rotten. A lot of it is barbed wire matches and baseball bats, but he did have some solid wrestling matches in his career. Also, I mean, he worked in WCW. He did spot shows and indies and WWE. He was all over the place. He has a documentary that's on YouTube. It's about an hour long that you might want to look at. And he talks about his career. He talks about the highs, the lows. He even talks about the business today, who he likes, who he doesn't like, how fans perceive things. It's a very interesting piece. And I think it's something you guys should check out.
Awesome.
Okay. Now for some fun. I gotta lighten it up. So Marty Jannety out here on his Twitter.
Oh Lord! All you gotta say is Twitter. All you gotta say is Twitter. That's it.
It better than Twitter. I said Twitter. Marty Jannety just put it out there on social media because Stephanie McMahon was basically calling Dean Ambrose a Jannety, and it's kind of funny because Marty gotta have been heard this by now. Hey, bruh, whenever somebody talk about a team and they talk about who's the second fiddle, hey, it's actually a verb. You a Jannety, or an adjective, I guess. Hey man, you gonna be the Jannety of the clique, right?
That's fucked up. That's not right, man.
Yeah, you a Jannety. So that happened. Marty got mad. He talked about social media. He's saying that, hey, Stephanie kids ain't really Triple H's. I mean, he went in.
Yeah, I see that. I said, did he really? Damn. He had to do all that.
I'm going to tell you this. Him and Shawn Michaels can't be friends no more.
Nah, not at all.
I'm going to tell you
not at all.
I can't be friends with you because here's the thing. Let's say you my man, I told you something about my other homeboy. That may or may not be true. Or, let's say, I don't even know the situation. But let's say they had some anxiety about this. Or this is a bump in the road, like there was some weird conversation that happened. And I done went and told you some snippets of it. Now you out here in the media breaking bad and telling the stuff that only probably I should have knew. So they know I know you. So they figure, how did he get close enough to this?
Right.
No, bro,
exactly.
I gotta put you on that. I don't know this Negro list.
Exactly. Like, nah, we good. Just bye. Don't even call me no more. I don't know you. I can't do this with you.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we're gonna go take this break. I'll come back. Hopefully I got some happier shit to talk about on the flip side of this. But we're going to talk about Raw, and we'll do the birthday.
Lord.
We'll, so I ain't going to have happier shit to talk about. Okay. All right. Either way, we're going to get the break. This show is special. It's a little different because we're jamming in all the things that happened in 2 weeks that we wasn't here for. So, you'll hear different promos throughout the show. We're going to mix in some Earth, Wind, and Fire music in this because R.I.P. Maurice White.
That's right.
It's a little different. It's a different tone this week. But we hope you enjoy it. We're glad to be back, and we'll catch you on the other side of this break.
Let me tell you about who deserves a shot at the United States heavyweight.
Let's hear it.
I'm the champion. I ought to know. You know, I've been sizing up guys since I came to the WCW. And I think the one guy that stands out the most, the guy that I think has earned a title shot, El Dandy, I think you're a heck of a wrestler. You're a great technician in the ring, and you're a jam-up guy.
Whoa.
I don't see any reason...
Wait a minute. El Dandy has been wrestling in the cruiserweight division here. Please.
He's a great wrestler.
He's a great wrestler, but my goodness sakes, it's 50 pounds
Who are
difference.
you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Well, let's talk about some serious contenders.
How about hypnosis? Let's get thrown.
Psychosis?
Whatever. He's a great wrestler. You know, you can say what you want. You can try to tear these guys down and take them down. But
Psychosis has also
been
been
a high flyer of the highest magnitude.
But he's
this guy's
still a cruiserweight. Let's get some.
How about Dean Malenko? I was going to give him a title shot. He was a big man, wanted to injure me. Hey, come injure me now, you little punk. He's sitting at home with some kind of hokey injury. This is a real injury, Dean Malenko. This is a groin pull the likes you've never seen in your whole life.
Well, he right now is nursing a very bad sprained ankle.
Yeah.
And as far as that groin pull...
All right, we are back at it on the other side of the break. Today, birthdays, Keith.
Birthdays!
It's February 11th. So
yes.
Yesterday would have been the 10th. So with yesterday being the 10th, it would have been Ming's birthday. Also, you know him as Haku. He turned 57. Tara, a.k.a. Victoria, turned 45. Today, the 11th, is got one birthday. Hernandez. Hernandez turns 43.
Uh-huh.
When there are no birthdays tomorrow, there's no birthdays Saturday, and then Sunday, Valentine's Day. You know, Kim Shamrock was born on Valentine's Day.
That's really ironically weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's very weird. Like,
Kim Shamrock, he's going to be 52. I think he has a fight coming up soon. Yes, he's still trying to do MMA. At least this time he's going to fight somebody as old as him. So hopefully that works out well.
I swore he was just training. That's all. I thought that was all he was doing now.
He ain't gonna let it go.
I see that. All right. Go kid.
He also shares a birthday with Tommy Dreamer.
Why are these extra violent men born on Valentine's Day? Well, I guess, you know, when they were born, they didn't expect to be this violent in life. But, you know, whatever.
ECW guy, Tommy Dreamer, will turn 45. I'm sorry. Yeah, 45.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can definitely believe that one.
And also, we will be remiss not mentioning Viscera, a.k.a. Big Daddy V, Nelson Frazier, who passed away last year, the year before last. He also shares a birthday on February 14th. So, with that is it. Keith, I can't get away from the sad.
Say what now?
Can't get away from the sad. Yesterday was February 10th. It was the 13th anniversary of the death of Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Like I said, can't get away from the sad. I'm trying to pick this show up.
Hey man, I mean sometimes you gotta let it out though. You gotta let everybody know. I'll pick it up a little bit. I want to say happy birthday to our brother Dwayne. We love you, Dwayne. Yay! Okay, did that help? Did I pick it up a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. Our brother's birthday was 2 days ago, and he turned 37. And
he's old.
I do not qualify 37 as old. I would have to say that is seasoned.
I love the poke fun they keep. Oh, man. All right. Let me stop. Also, today, it being the 11th, I give it up. Happy birthday, Tawana. We love you, too. I know she ain't going to hear the show, but hey, might as well go ahead and give her a shout-out, too. For those of you that don't know, Tawana is Marcus's girlfriend and the mother of 6-month-old niece, Jalen. And we love her to death. She's awesome. So, happy birthday, Tawana. Your greatness. Yeah. That definitely helped pick it up a little bit, too. So.
Yeah.
Wait. One more.
Okay.
When Nicole fit in this? Because her birthday is this month, too.
Oh, Nicole's birthday is Monday.
I knew it was one more I couldn't see. Hey, Keith, that's your wife. You do the shout out, because I'm not.
I'd like to shout out my wife, Nicole. Her birthday is Monday, February 15th. You can catch us at the Universal Soul Circus on that day. So, that is definitely happening. That is going down. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, we got some February birthdays in this family now. I was not aware. I wasn't aware, but hey, it works. It helps.
Yeah. That's part of the equation. Try to find some news that was not bad. The Rock was wearing a Lucha Underground T-shirt while he was working out, so that was cool.
That's awesome.
CM Punk is going to delay his MMA debut again.
Why?
Back surgery.
Oh Lord! Should he be fighting? I'm just saying.
He should have fought. He had an injury last time. I think the other time was hard to find him an opponent. This time they found him an opponent. It was Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall is 2-0 in MMA and had his first UFC fight. Won his UFC fight. It was introduced to his opponent, CM Punk, who's going to fight this summer. But Punk has a disc problem in his back.
Oh, man.
Last year, in 2015, he had a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
So now he's just kind of floating in the wind. But I guess eventually they're going to get him in a fight.
Right.
One of these days, he's going to get in a fight.
Yeah. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen.
He might come back to wrestling before he actually fights. I mean, that's how
right. That would have sounded like to me. It's just getting to that point. It's like, okay, Punk, are you going to do it or not?
Yeah. That's what it would be, because, I mean, man, that's a lot of crow to eat to come back to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it would be sold. So I'll leave that alone. With that, I'm not even going to. Shuhei Nakamura said that he is sad about Daniel Bryan retiring, and Daniel Bryan was one of the reasons why he was coming to the WWE. But I think about the possibility of a Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan match, I get teary-eyed. So I'm not going to do that. But let's get Raw. Raw. Okay, sorry. That was my here. I thought it was a good show. They really worked. Perfect retirement place. And maybe he knew he was going to retire a day or two earlier or a week earlier, but they saved it for Seattle.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect place.
His hometown. The place where they stole Raw one time. Where
right.
I think they was trying to do the Randy Orton, John Cena title merge thing. That was making a big deal. And the crowd just kept going Daniel Bryan and pissing off Triple H.
Right.
So it was a perfect place. They showed him love. The video packages were excellent.
As always.
I say this jokingly, seriously. Man, something ever happened to me, I want the WWE treatment. Like, I need their producers to do...
right.
Because it's going to have y'all in tears. It's going to have y'all in tears. It's going to be wonderful. They going to see the pictures. They were like, this dude was amazing. Who was he?
But it's the truth, though. Like, I want that to just play for like a good week. Just throw it out there on social media. Hell, I'll be perfectly fine with it. As long as it's done by them. Like, yeah. She was awesome. Who the hell is that? I'm just saying. They make everybody look good, man. Oh, man. Okay, let me get off of that.
I'm just saying. That screen pop up at your funeral, and the background music come, and it's you standing on top of a mountain.
Right.
Looking off into the sunset. Let me quit. Anyway, so the show opens up with the Fastlane Contract Signing.
Boo.
I thought it was a wonderful contract signing.
No.
First of all, I think we've overplayed the contract signing.
Exactly.
It was a big deal when Andre and Hogan sat down and did it.
Right, but it was only done sparingly.
Yeah, like, I don't think every pay-per-view should have a contract signing. I think
no.
Also, I don't, it's just weird, right? But I thought it did what it was supposed to do.
Right.
If we watch it, like, think about last Monday. Dean had his face off with Brock. He came down to the ring. I ain't scared of you.
Exactly.
The ring. Brock gave him an F5 afterward. So, well, later on in the show. So now Dean got a vendetta. And he won a piece of Brock. Roman wouldn't let Dean have his moment with Brock.
Right.
And mind you, hey, either the WWE spent a shit ton of money or they using up these Brock Lesnar dates real quick.
Right. They either throwing it out extra or they just gotta let it wind down. Oh man. It's greatness though. I admit that.
I mean, I heard he was gonna increase his dates. Like
he didn't think it was gonna be right. Right. He didn't think it was going.
He done did house shows, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But
he's working.
The way he finished that contract signing, where he just destroyed everybody and just was a tornado, I like that. Like, he came over, he beat up Dean, he smacked Roman with the table, then he hit the F5, and the crowd went nuts.
Right.
The crazy thing there is you have a baby face. That's the funny thing.
That's why everybody loves it.
When Triple H came out, he stood there and looked at Triple H. It was like, oh. Because here's the thing. Triple H don't want to face Brock at Mania. We can establish that. Now, he might try to put some poles in his face.
Right.
And that's the thing. Being in charge, you got the ability to put obstacles in front of people's way. He wants no part of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He'll talk the talk. He'll say some things, but he don't want no part of Brock Lesnar. And Brock will go legitimate babyface, and people will love Brock as the babyface.
Right.
More than Roman Reigns, like they've just decided that they're not gonna fuck with Roman Reigns. Remember we talked about that Daniel Bryan organic push thing?
Right.
Daniels comes from the root. Roman, they see that rocket attached to it. And fans are really quick to reject people who get that rocket attached to them. Very quick to reject them. And Roman got the rocket. And I mean, they pushed him through a wall. Like, hey, you throw a wall up, they pushed him through it. Like, they really, really working hard for Roman Reigns.
They are. They definitely are, and I give them that.
I mean, last year at Fastlane, he had to face Daniel Bryan one-on-one because people didn't accept the Royal Rumble results. It was like, oh, he got to beat him. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
And still, people didn't like it, but they accepted it. That's what they do to make people accept that. They're not accepting it this time around. And I don't know if, hey man, Dean got to turn on Roman or if it's Brock got to win it all, but they not feeling the idea of Roman in Mania again.
No.
They not.
He's definitely falling off. Look at that.
Yeah. So Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler had another match. They appear to be married to each other as of late. I don't know if this feud has an end game, but it'd be very interesting to see what it is.
Right.
Because I don't think anybody elevates out of winning it. I think you still kind of end up similar spot that you were on the roster. But I don't know. It was one of the things that was on my mind. But I like Ziggler and Owens. I think they both good at selling, and they put together a good match. Jericho was Miz's guest on Miz TV, which then becomes the highlight reel because Jericho steals Miz's show from him. And then it becomes a three-way affair because AJ Styles shows up after those two get crazy with each other. So I think they're going to have a three-way competition now between AJ, Miz, and Jericho. So not only is AJ going to get over, he's going to get over by beating two people. Who, mind you, Styles has had a wonderful, successful run to start off. So I'll be amazed to see how it continues. with him taking on Jericho and Miz, and pretty much he's got to come out on top. Jericho won't be around that long. He'll probably fade out. Miz will pick up the slack, and then that'll be over. Then we'll get a good idea of what is next for AJ and where he's going to stand with this company and how things are going to roll with him. Next match, Bray Wyatt is back. He beats Ryback, beat him clean. Wyatt family beat up on Ryback. No Big Show to show up to help clean up the mess.
Of course.
Dean calls out Brock Lesnar because he was mad about what happened earlier. Told Roman to stay back. Got F5'd a couple of times. Just proved he was extra crazy.
Right.
It was a side of sauce. And but he kept coming back. Brock came back to the ring. Roman's music hit. Roman comes down. Gives Dean enough time to distract him. So, and Dean goes with the low blow. So, it's good to see things. Is Sheamus hurt?
I don't know. I haven't seen him though, so I have to actually wonder that same thing. I do not know.
Because the League of Nations been rolling without him. And they had to take on the Lucha Dragons without him. Also, watch it last week. Hey, man, Rusev here to take these L's. Rusev is here for your beatdown purposes. I mean, it is crazy. But, yeah, after that incident with Lana, man, they just don't want to give him a push. And it's funny because he's a hitman for that League of Nations. But he driving matches to Kalisto? Hey, man, they got this dude ready to take them L's. But you going to feel the power messing with us. You don't respect authority, young man. Also, Sasha Banks is a babyface, which is different.
Yeah, baby. About time.
I mean, we're getting ready for WrestleMania, and I think that's part of the byproduct of that. But yeah, man, she is. The boss is rolling with Becky Lynch, and they're gonna face off against Tamina and Naomi. And hey, they're gonna make a good team. Here's the funny part about this: when they, fought them off last week, the crowd started chanting NXT. Which, if I'm on the main roster, I would be like, "Hey, we gotta fix this." Still not working because something about that presentation that they remember in NXT is so much better to them than it is with the main roster. But aside from that, we had a Black History Month match. The Usos and the Dudleys took on the New Day with Mark Henry as their special fourth. Apparently, there's going to be a table match between the Usos and the New Day. The Dudleys said you can't have a table match without us. Then I guess New Day went and grabbed Mark Henry, and it was on and popping. And then we're on and popping. You have to see what's going on. And they had a decent match. One of the Usos got hurt. Next thing you know, we got a Dudley heel turn, which I think they're better as heels. And hopefully, Bully Ray can come out of this. Not the heels. Let's get rid of the, hey, do you know who the hell I am? I want to hear that.
All right.
Give me the bully.
Exactly.
Bully.
Hey, but he does come out a little bit when he's on the mic. I can hear it.
They can't call him Bully Ray because they can't use the term bully because we need to be a star. But we will have something, right?
Right. Because it's hurt a little bit when he talks. I can hear it. I'm like, just go into it, Bully. I still call him Bully. Just go into it, man. Do it, damn it. That's how you feel every time he speaks. It's like, just do it, damn it. Do it.
Not really a lot of hot takes I got from Raw. The Bryan retirement speech was amazing. and it was good to know that he is going to be all right with what's going on with these decisions. But with that was Raw. I had not watched TNA, and Lucha came on.
Excuse me.
Keisha, anything you want to drop in, add, share, subtract, delete?
I want to add in how the Miz, not this past Monday, but the Monday beforehand, he did Miz TV, of course, and his guest was AJ Styles, and I was like, really, like, what the hell? Because he didn't let AJ speak. AJ never had a mic or anything. He just went on and on about how he's not ready for the big leagues, and he's a small fish in an ocean full of sharks, and it was real ridiculous. But this week's Miz TV ended up getting interrupted by Chris Jericho's highlight reel, and it was just to me, those were two funny segments of Raw that I thoroughly enjoyed, especially when AJ Styles beat the shit out of the Miz. It was greatness. I think that AJ is going to go far in this company. He's definitely at a good start. He's got a good foot. I mean, people might not see him too much, but you know what? You don't need to see him too much to know that he's going to make an impact. So I definitely wanted to throw that in there and just point that out a little bit, because I see big things happening with him. I don't know what they're going to do with him as far as Fastlane and WrestleMania goes, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have a place in somewhere in either one of those shows, especially WrestleMania, with him being who he is. Because right now, it's really not about his longevity with WWE. It's just about his longevity in general, because AJ has had a very illustrious career, and he definitely is going to continue these things while he is in the WWE. So I'm definitely excited about that. Raw was pretty much summed up by you. I guess I just didn't really see too much else that was very significant to be mentioned. So, did we mention Becky teaming with Sasha? We did mention that. Okay, I'm losing it. But yeah, so that was it. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. With that, we are going to wrap up this show. We are glad you came with us to journey through another week of professional wrestling. Next week, Fastlane preview, all about life in the fast lane, and we're going to talk about how that is going to roll us up for WrestleMania. So without further ado, Keish, we are out.
Bye.